Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Let's Talk Sports. I'm your host, Taya, and I'm so excited to bring you our very first NFL episode of the season. Of course, we have to break down all of the amazing news that was announced yesterday on August 26th. And of course, I'm mentioning Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift announcing that they are officially engaged with a post. Your gym teacher and your English teacher are getting married. Oh my gosh. How freaking cute. First of all, if you're not a Taylor Swift fan, you're in the wrong place. I'm not a diehard Swiftie, quote unquote, but I feel like I have been there since the beginning. I remember listening to her songs on the way to soccer practice as a kid. I remember having a boy not really like me and listening to A Picture to Burn with my sister on YouTube, whatever era you discovered her in. She has been able to capture hearts because of her music, how it is so relatable to everybody else. And honestly, I'm really excited and happy for her. If you've seen her through the years, you've seen her through bad relationships, and being just somebody that everybody talks so highly about, you feel like you know her. You feel like you have this understanding of how sweet and real she is. I'm so excited that she has a relationship that seemingly appears that it is just bliss. So really excited for her, really excited for Travis Kelce. If you've never seen, Chasing Kelce or Catching Kelce, he had his own dating show, which was honestly chef's kiss, so hysterical more than anything else. But that's him. He's just a funny guy, and I'm really happy. You got to see them on their podcast with Jason Kelce as well, and just seeing like how well they bounce off of each other and love and dote on each other. I'm so excited and happy for this. I'm excited to see her attending more Chiefs games this season. I know that there was a controversy when she first started dating Travis, and everyone was like, oh, why are we showing her? Listen, we are here. This is a place for the progression of sports. This is a place that breathes and speaks life into women. So if you're not about it, you're totally in the wrong place. But I'm so excited to see more outfits. I'm so excited to see her at more games, cheering him on. I'm just so excited for the NFL season to officially be here. This isn't just celebrity news, though, right? With Travis and Taylor. This is also really big news for the NFL. There's no denying the impact that Taylor has had on really any and everything that she does, right? I mean, every city that she goes to with her tour has a increased amount of tourism dollars, and we see that ever more present in Kansas City, in the NFL. I know that the owners have said and made a statement about her impact on the Chiefs alone. But this isn't just celebrity news. This is NFL news. This is how the stadium's going to be buzzing. The fact that this is happening in preseason, leading up to the NFL, leading up to her album launch in October, nothing's a coincidence with her. And I'm so ecstatic for this upcoming season. I'm so ecstatic for her album launching. But let's get into the NFL now, shall we? Okay, so a lot of things have shifted throughout this offseason, whether it's player trades, whether it's rule changes, and I just want you to know that I'm here for it all. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know in the comments. I'm going to let you know on a couple of rule changes as it stands right now. The permanent kickoff rule. It requires the kicking team to kick said ball into the air. The receiving team, if they catch and kneel, that's called a touchback, that allows them to go to the 35-yard line. Now, there are 100 yards on the field, not including the end zone. So to get to the 35-yard line instead of the 30-yard line is a very big increase. We're hoping for more returns. We're hoping for more excitement. You see a lot of new rules changing with both baseball and football. I think they're trying to create a different level of excitement and a little bit of a variety to the game, especially if you've been a fan for years on years, decades on decades. It's exciting to see those little shifts happen. That doesn't mean all the shifts are good. We'll get into that. Previously, the rule stated that at the end of regulated time, if the teams are tied, which rarely happened anyway, the team would go into basically starting the game over. Everybody has timeouts. You'd go through the coin flip again. Pretty much a new game, right? However, it was the first team to score, and that included a field goal. So realistically, whoever got the first possession just had to get into field goal range. Now the rule matches the postseason. meaning that each team will have the chance to possess the ball at least once, with the time being capped at 10 minutes. So you'll still go through starting the game over. Everybody will still get timeouts again. I think that this rule will allow both teams to be really creative within that 10 minutes. We might see some special plays come out of it. So I'm really excited that both teams will get the option to show off maybe some tactical plays during this tiebreaker. Now let's look into the replay rule. Officials will now have the permission to look at objective rulings or even first downs via Hawkeye rather than just chains. And the chains are like the orange carrots that are on the sideline, right? And those are set at 10 yards apart. As many of you know, football, you've got to move the ball 10 yards within 4 tries or you have to release the ball to the other team. So what is this saying is that you have this 10-yard measurement that usually wiggles out there, right? And you're like, okay, is it between an inch, a 2-inch? However short you are, it doesn't matter. If you're short, you're short. But this will now say that even if the ball is carried over that line, brought back, there's a lot of instances where the ball movement on that line of scrimmage or on that first down line becomes a little hard to see. So they're going to be able to use other elements outside of just those carrot sticks on the sideline. That's basically all that it's saying. This rule is where I really start to roll my eyes, and it is celebrations. Celebrations are under a lot of scrutiny nowadays, whether it's dancing, whether it's jumping into the crowd, whether it's wiping your nose, because that could be a gang signal, this, that, or the other thing. It's going to be interesting. I don't really love that rule, but we'll see how it plays out this season. The next rule, right? We're getting into some dicey territory here. Onside kick rule. Now, this is a tricky thing to understand. Let's say we have 2 teams, right? We've got Team A and Team B. Team B is losing by at least 2 scores, if not more. An onside kick just basically means the ball has to move at least 10 yards. But where this gets tricky, right, is as soon as the ball's kicked, both teams can move towards the ball. And what you're hoping is that this team gets to the ball first and now starts at the 34-yard line instead of the 35. It's basically just a 1-yard difference of who can get to the ball first, and it has to be by the trailing team. If this team scores, gets the ball, has to kick it off to this team, right? You're really hoping that you can kick the ball somewhere, receive it before this team can get to it. Now you have the possession again, and you can try and go and score again. Does that make sense? Let me know if you have more questions about that in the comments. Let's get into the actual teams that play the sport of football. There's 2 conferences, AFC and NFC, and we got into this a little bit with baseball with the leagues, American League and National League. The AFC, the American Football Conference, and the NFC, the National Football Conference. You're just splitting your East, North, South, and West teams basically into different brackets. There's a history to it. We can get into that later. Let's get into what happened this offseason. Starting with your AFC East, Josh Allen got married to Haley Steinfeld in a beautiful California ceremony. Absolutely picture perfect. The 2 of them have been dating for quite a few years, but only had a 6-month engagement, and I love their relationship. It's so easy to be rooting for the Buffalo Bills this season as they acquired Joey Bosa. Then let's continue with the Miami Dolphins, who picked up Mostert, who is a running back and will hopefully also strengthen their defensive line with their veteran Campbell. Let's move on to the Patriots. They spent $282 million in free agency on key defenders. Plus, they added backups on offense and yet still searching for that number 1 receiver. They've been having that hard time post Tom Brady and post Bill Belichick to find how they're going to continue their tremendous winning streak. I'm not a fan of the Patriots for a lot of reasons. 1, I think they're cheater pumpkin eaters. And 2, I don't like them. Finishing off the AFC East, we have the Jets. The New York Jets received Justin Fields, who used to be in Chicago, who used to be in the Steelers. He's a young guy, and he's a great quarterback who just hasn't been given, I think, enough of a chance with great coaching and great players. Moving on to the AFC. Let's start with the Steelers since we're on the subject. Big moves, they acquired Aaron Rodgers, DK Metcalf, which I'm actually very stoked about. Why we wouldn't have him play with Russell Wilson, because both of them played in Seattle together, and we already talked about the synergy between players and how important that is. And we got Dursley, traded away Mika Fitzpatrick. Moving on to the Cleveland Browns, they picked up Kenny Pickett, but now have also released Kenny Pickett. The Cincinnati Bengals resolved a pay issue with Trey Hendrickson and signed a 1-year, $30 million deal. All right, let's get into our NBA and NHL preseasons that are coming up. Their seasons don't officially start until October, so we're just going to touch on them lightly as far as what to look at and what to watch as of right now. All right, let's start with the NBA. We've got most teams either having already reported 2 days ago or reporting in 2 days. So this week is the week that most teams are really getting together, starting to assess and getting ready for the preseason. Preseason will wrap up on October 17th, so we still got some time there with the first game of the season being on October 21st. Let's go into the top 3 teams to watch going into the 25-26 season with the remaining champs of OKC, the Denver Nuggets, and the San Antonio Spurs. So OKC were champs last season and early favorites to repeat as Western Conference leaders again this season. We've got the Denver Nuggets, which have a solid holdover from last season and expected to compete at the top of the West. Again, when you see those changes in teams that don't really happen and you've had a strong team already competing at such a high level, you just add more time and more years under your belt of understanding how people move. You got to see preliminary games where Nikola Jokic was able to make an amazing pass. You are just going to see that connection build with this upcoming season, so I'm really excited to see that. The San Antonio Spurs have a young crew with Victor Wembanyama and De'Aaron Fox leading the charge. I think they're going to have an amazing season. Another team that I'm keeping keen and close to my heart are also the Celtics and the Knicks as they duked it out at the end of last season. I'm really excited to see them come together again. So a little review on the championship from last year. OKC captured the championship defending against the Pacers in a thrilling 7-game series final. That was a heck of a game. I'm really excited to see them come back. That series was neck and neck, obviously having injuries with the Pacers in that final game, obviously having something to do with the outcome, but having just such a great OKC team. I mean, you saw those players come around, hey, I know what you're feeling. Hey, are you okay? What can we do? Like, it was just a really good camaraderie. I didn't feel like the game had a lot of intensity to it, being the 7th game, but it was good to see just people being kind to one another, even in that sports world, even in a finals game, to see them have a heart for each other was really, really sweet. All right, now moving on to the NHL. We have their preseason starting actually really soon and will end on October 4th with the first game happening on October 7th. So a little bit before basketball season this year with multi-layered broadcast triple header, which is crazy for their opening game. And what that means is multiple broadcasts, right? Not one broadcast covering 3 games, but different broadcasts covering 3 games happening at the same time. You'll have something similar with the NBA where they'll have a double header for their opening night as well, but a triple for the NHL, stepping it up. I like to see it. So 3 teams that we want to watch, we're looking at the Florida Panthers, which are the returning champs. Heck yeah. The New Jersey Devils, as well as the Toronto Maple Leafs that did a big revamp in their postseason, which is one of the league's big talking points right now. As we end our WNBA and MLB coverage, we'll get into this a little bit more in the next episodes, so stay tuned. Okay, so a quick summary. The preseason for NBA ends on October 17th with regular season starting on October 21st. We've got the OKC as their championships, keeping an eye on the Thunder, the Nuggets, and the Spurs as the season progresses. NHL preseason ends on October 4th with regular season on October 7th. The previous championship winners, double championship winners, the Panthers, we're looking to keep an eye on them, as well as the Devils and Maple Leafs. That's it for this episode of Let's Talk Sports. I hope you learned something. I hope you're excited for the upcoming season. That's it for this episode of Let's Talk Sports. I hope you learned something. I hope you're excited for the upcoming seasons that are upon us. Join us over on social media for live coverage of the U.S. Open, and I cannot wait to kick the ball around with you guys next time. Bye. Well, that's it for this episode of Let's Talk Sports. I hope you guys learned something. I am so excited for the upcoming seasons. Go ahead and join us over on our social media for live coverage of the U.S. Open. And thanks for joining us. I can't wait to kick the ball around with you guys next time. Bye.